welcome Courageous Capricorns. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com and I'm here to do your February Tarot Astrology. Well, it's been quite a busy time over the last few months, so it is a little bit quieter this month comparatively speaking, but we still have Mercury going retrograde. I must apologise, I've got the AC going on in the background. I'm trying to talk loudly because it is as hot as Hades here on the Gold Coast, Australia at the moment. So please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you do like this video. That would be fabulous. So with Mercury going retrograde, the dates are February 18th until March 9, and they're sort of a little bit iffy, those dates, because we've got a thing called the shadow period on either side. So when Mercury begins to start retrograding, just before that period, some astrologers say up to 2 weeks before, and just after that, when Mercury turns direct, you still get this little bit of a bleed through of retrograde energy for a little bit. So that can mean issues with delays, miscommunications and problems with technology. I'm having the problems with technology now, but not to worry, we'll muddle through. Okay, so let's start the horoscope part of this video. I'll do some astrology for you and some psychic channeling, draw some tarot cards and a psychic summary at the end. The 8th sees Venus going into your 4th house of home and family, and your home really does become a sanctuary for you and your family at this time. Venus loves cooperation and peace and harmony, and it may be that people that come into your home are coming there because they're in some sort of distress, and they're coming to you to sit down and have a cup of tea perhaps, and maybe talk about what's going on with them, because your home has this energy of peace and tranquility. Okay, your family members might come back into the home as well to talk about various things affecting them. The 9th sees a full moon in your 8th house of intimacy and shared resources. Okay, so a full moon tends to shake things up. It's all about transformation. It brings things up from your subconscious out into reality. You could be feeling the feelings before an actual physical thing happens with this full moon, and intimacy and shared resources, you think they're not the same, but at a very fundamental level, they are still shared energy, if you think of it that way. So it's not only intimacy, but things like taxes, superannuation if you're in Australia, or 401k in the US, loans. If you're looking at getting a loan, you may have to go somewhere else because the person that you're getting the loan from, or the company, then changes their rules or something like that, or there's additional things that you have to comply with in order to get that loan. Okay, can also cover inheritances too. The 17th sees Mars moving into your sign, your 1st house. This is a real bonus for you because it gives you more energy and more vitality in yourself. And so you could be feeling more vital, more energetic. You want to take action. You feel inspired to get on and do some things. That's on the 17th, but on the next day, that's when we have Mercury retrograde. And remember the shadow period I was talking about before. So you could be feeling really motivated to do something, and yet there's something that's getting in the way. So there could be like a delay or some misunderstanding or some confusion about that. It's in your 3rd house, so this can involve your local community, your neighbours, your siblings. You may have a sibling where there's a little bit of distance, and something happens, and you want to sort of connect, and then there's some misunderstanding or something like that. Also technology, please back up your devices before Mercury goes retrograde. That would that would save a lot of angst. So travel plans can also get thrown into chaos with Mercury retrograde. So if you've got travel plans where you've got like multiple legs, so you have to catch 2 flights, and something happens on the first leg, try and allow extra time between the different legs so that you can, at least make your flight, because during Mercury retrograde, often transportation does run late. Alrighty, so 19th sees the Sun, and the 23rd sees a new moon, both going into your 3rd house, joining Neptune and Mercury there. So there's a lot of activity there in your 3rd house. Another thing your 3rd house can relate to, besides your community, your siblings, it's also about study and learning, and it might be a time where you've been learning something and you feel ready that you can share it with other people, because communications and messages are important. So you have to kind of try and be patient this month, Courageous Capricorns, because there's all this new energy coming in, but with Mercury retrograde, it could be difficult to share it at the time you want to share it. It's not that you won't share it, of course you will, but just sort of getting it set up is the issue. So maybe, take a couple of deep breaths, and if it doesn't work after 3 times, it's like my limit, 3 times. If it still doesn't work, I'd come back the next day, but of course that's up to you to decide, how urgent it is. Alrighty, so that's the astrology. We're going to go to the board now, and I'm going to pull some cards for you. I've already shuffled these cards this morning, but I'll give them a quick shuffle again now as we proceed. Now, firstly, I'm going to draw a card for the first week of February. Okay, and before I do that, I'm just going to close my eyes and see what I can see. Okay, I don't know what this is, but I definitely get the feeling of monkeys. I don't know what it means. I'm just going to put it to the side. I think there might be a saying about monkeys getting into something and causing chaos. Okay, so yes, something about monkeys. I do see a computer screen in front of me, and there are some issues, okay, with the monitor or getting your computer to work. So obviously that's not for everyone, but for some people there are technology issues. Now I'm just focusing again, and right, okay, so now I see a ladder, and this is climbing a ladder to success. You might need to just stop halfway and take a bit of a rest, because maybe it's not going as you hoped. All right, so let's see what the cards throw up, and I'm going to go with this one, which is the Queen of Wands. Alrighty, this is a woman who is very motivated to succeed. Even though I've been talking about Mars energy, which is a masculine energy, this is a feminine energy, but still sort of similar in the fact that she wants to take action. See that baseball bat there? There's sunflowers in the background, which denote insight and awareness, and also a sense of achievement. She's sitting on a wooden throne with her feet on the ground, so she's grounded in practical reality. She has a wild cat here at her feet, which is sort of like a Bengal cat. I've got 2 Bengals. This one looks more Asian leopard cat, actually. And so this is about being in touch with your instincts, okay, and trusting your other senses, your deeper senses. She's dressed in blue for expression, with a gold belt around her waist, okay, which is about the solar plexus. See all this yellow here? The solar plexus, authority, credibility, self-esteem, accomplishment. So in the first week, you are motivated to succeed, and you'll just have to work with those delays of the shadow period of Mercury retrograde and what I saw before I actually pulled the card. You're going to have to work with it and just persevere. You'll get there if you keep trying. All right, second week of February, and closing my eyes. Okay, this is a time, this is like a detox time spiritually. I'm actually seeing rolls of toilet paper, so you know what that means. It's time to get rid of all of the rubbish and things that are no longer useful for you. That sort of ties in, sorry, I'm coughing. It sort of ties in with Mars in your sign, because that does indicate your identity could be sort of transformed in some way as you get rid of all of this stuff from the past. You may buy new clothes because you want clothes, your wardrobe, to reflect who you are now, not who you were 10 years ago, okay? And I've still got plenty of clothes that are 10 years old, so I should do this too. But yes, it's a spiritual detox time, so do consider your diet as well, and get some movement, walking around your local area and that sort of thing, rather than just exercise for exercise sake. Movement is important. Okay, and the card is the King of Wands, and again we have this motivational energy. So now we have the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. This is all about balance. This is the male side, the divine male. Again, the sunflowers for insight and awareness and happiness. He has a baseball bat for taking action. He's got red here for taking action, green for growth, and again the gold belt around his waist. It's a cummerbund, in fact, and he's got gold around his throat here, which is holding up this red cape, sitting on a wooden throne for groundedness and practicality with his feet on the ground. Okay, so this is here is the balance of the male and female energies of motivation, inspiration, this fiery passion to get whatever your project or your business or whatever it is that makes your heart go bling or sing. This is it here in the first 2 weeks of February. Okay, so closing my eyes again now for the third week of February. Okay, I see a dam wall and there's a lot of water on the other side in the dam, and the dam is nearly full. Where the slipway is, where the excess water comes out, I'm looking at that, and there is a huge amount of water coming out there because the dam is so full. The dam is holding, so I don't think the dam is going to break. So you could be under some emotional pressure, emotions coming up, but you're actually handling it, and you are, dealing with your emotions in a practical and sort of healthy way, so that, the dam holds. So that's good news. Means that you don't get overwhelmed by subconscious contents in the third week. Okay, let's see what comes up in the cards. And we're going with this one, which again is Wands and the Five of Wands. Okay, this is a woman who has experienced some conflict. She's putting her hand up, and see on the top of her fingers is like little flames. Okay, so flames are all about passion and hopes and dreams and trying to do what she wants to do. And these things in the background, these are actually candles. So again, about the flames, the fiery passions. But it has been a difficult time in the recent past, and she's had to stand her ground, and there could have been some conflict going on as well. So stand your ground. Don't let people walk around or walk all over you or walk around you even. It could be disappointment with this energy, but it's only temporary. And again, it's wands. Sorry. Again, it's wands. So your fiery inspiration and your dreams that you want to get out into the world. This can also, money can be involved in this as well. So do watch your finances. Okay, now moving to the last week of February, and I'll close my eyes now. All right, and I see a boat on an ocean, and it's sort of moving along slowly, but moving away from a difficult situation. Okay, and let's see what card comes out for that. And we're going with this one, and guess what? It's wands. It's the two of wands. Okay, there was something in the recent past that was stopping you moving forward, but by the time you go through this process in February, there is now a gap here. See all these rocks? In England, if you walk around the fields in the countryside, they all have these stone sorts of fences or stone boundaries around the fields. I think they're called hedgerows. But see here, there's a gap. She can now step out of one boundaried area into another area, and you can too. There's 2 baseball bats. That means action. So things are not going to fall in your lap. You have to take action, but you will get there eventually. She's wearing red for action, and also blue for self-expression. Up here in the sky, the earth is a bloom, and this is related to sort of spirit. So what she's doing is balancing spirit and earthly physicality. It's not easy to do because we all have our dreams. Everybody has great dreams, but not everyone can bring them down to earth. And so that's your job, your challenge, if you choose to accept it. But February, it looks like you could be feeling very, very motivated and full of action, okay? The only possible thing is that you could be feeling a little bit frustrated because Mercury is possibly interfering in your plans, you may think. It just means that there's a delay. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. So just try and stay calm, because sometimes the energy can just sort of run away with you and you feel more and more frustrated, and then that can lead to accidents or all sorts of things. So you will get there, but you may not get there immediately. Now, a psychic summary for you to summarize up the whole month of February, Courageous Capricorns. Okay, so I've got a silver pendant here that I can see with a cross on the end. So yeah, a sacrifice has been made. If you wear a cross, just think about what it means, and it does mean sacrifice. So if you're okay with that, that's fine. If you think you've made enough sacrifice already, you might want to take that cross off, because that's sort of like affirming the sacrifice that you have made. Your choice what you do there. I now see a chariot of sorts being pulled by horses, so that indicates progress, that you are moving slowly forward. They're not running, they're just walking. So you just have to keep up what you're doing. There's a person in the chariot with a violin, playing the violin, and it's like the music of your life. So think about all of the symbolism to do with violin. It can be quite sweet and beautiful, and it's like it's the 19th century. So could be something going back on your family DNA. If you're having issues with something, if it's making money, look back on your family tree and see, is this something that your family's always suffered because, had to make these sacrifices because they haven't had any money or enough money, for example? Or is it to do with a past life even? Okay, so that's something that you need to look into. Okay, Well, I hope that's helped you, Courageous Capricorns. Thanks so much for listening today. And if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell. But most importantly, have a wonderful month, and I will see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.